What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Now I have a quick announcement to make before I start. Last night the channel hit 90,000 subscribers, so I want to thank everyone who has subscribed and especially those that have hit the notification bell for supporting the channel and helping me get this far. We are only 10,000 away from the 100,000 mark, which, to be honest, I never thought I would reach. So once again, thank you all very much. According to YouTube though, 65% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to help me hit the 100,000 mark and you've not already subscribed but regularly watch my videos, then consider doing so. I would appreciate it a lot. It's truly humbling the support you guys have given me. Thank you all very much. So after my video earlier where I was laughing my arse off to an article, this one here is very different because it's extremely serious and has forced me to delay the video I was originally going to make. Now, as this is such an important video, you can guarantee that YouTube will not promote it like it does many of my others. So it will be down to you guys to share this out, like and comment to get it as much traction as possible. Because this is something that definitely needs to be discussed on a wider basis. And in the mainstream media, where I expect you won't hear a single thing about this article. It headlines, Rotherham Police Chief, we ignored sex abuse of children. Race fears stopped us acting, victim's father told. This is something that we have all suspected for a long time, and many people have known about. Finally, a senior police officer appears to be lifting the lid on it. A senior police officer admitted that his force ignored the sexual abuse of girls by Pakistani grooming gangs for decades because it was afraid of the increase in racial tensions, a watchdog has ruled. After a 5-year investigation, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC, upheld a complaint that the Rotherham officer told a missing child's distraught father that the town would erupt if it was known that Asian men were routinely having sex with underage white girls. Let me tell you, it wouldn't just be the town that erupts, it would be the whole fucking country. As we all know, this shit is not just limited to Rotherham. It's going on up and down the country from Kent to Rotherham, including many other places. The Chief Inspector is said to have described the abuse as, I'm not going to say the word shagging, and to have said it has been going on for 30 years. With it being Asians, we can't afford for this to be coming out. Which is absolutely fucking disgusting and unbelievable that a police officer would say that, instead of acting on the information that he clearly knows and taking these people off the streets. It really pisses me off. His incendiary language features in a confidential report by the watchdog that upholds 6 complaints against South Yorkshire Police by a former child victim of sexual exploitation. Its 13-page document, seen by the Times, was issued 2 days after a critical review of multiple police failings during a botched inquiry into the organised sexual abuse of vulnerable young girls by men of Pakistani heritage in Manchester. This is something that was finally brought up in the mainstream media on Thursday during a segment on Question Time, but has not really been covered by them as you would expect, because of course that would be racist, wouldn't it? The Rotherham complainant was repeatedly abused over several years from 2003. The IOPC said it was very clear that you were sexually exploited by Asian men and upheld a complaint that the police took insufficient action to prevent you from harm. Until now, police forces across the North and the Midlands have consistently denied that concerns about upsetting community sensitivities or accusation of racism were a factor in their past failure to tackle grooming gangs. Yeah, because now the evidence is mounting up that they can't deny it. But until such time as the evidence gets too much to deny, they will of course continue doing it, because they have to appear to be politically correct. Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, said last night that the Rotherham and Manchester scandals represented a failure of the state to fulfil one of its fundamental roles, protecting our children. Institutionalised, corrosive behaviour that disregards victims has to end. She said tackling this abuse is a priority for the Home Office, which is why I have accelerated the delivery of the Tackling Child Sex Abuse strategy that will put victims first. there will be no no-go areas. There should never have been no no-go areas ever. The Tories have been in power for 10 fucking years. What the fucking hell have yous lot been doing about it? I know Priti Patel has not been the Home Secretary for 10 years, but fuck me, you've been in there a few months. How come this scandal has only just come out now? Surely Priti Patel and the Home Secretary must have known something about this, or at least heard the reports that are out there for everyone to hear. I mean, I know they like to call the likes of Tommy Robinson a white nationalist and all this bullshit, but he's been pointing this out for long enough that these people know it, and Priti Patel is one of the people who would have known it by now. Let's be honest, the Conservative government did waste a shitload of money putting him in prison, so they are aware of what he's talking about and this sort of shit that goes on. It's not like this is new to them. It's not like it's just represented this failure of the state. It's been going on for ages, and people have been calling it out for ages. So we can only hope that they actually do something about it now. I'm never confident, regardless of party, they are still politicians, and political correctness still seems to be a big part of the Tory government. Hopefully, with a majority, that can change, but I wouldn't hold your breath, guys, that's for sure. An investigation by the Times into child grooming gangs in towns across the north prompted an independent inquiry. Its 2014 report found that between 1997 and 2013, more than 1,400 Rotherham children were exposed to severe levels of sexual abuse and violence by groups of men who were almost all of Pakistani heritage. To date, 36 men have been convicted for crimes related to the scandal. And yeah, 36 men is not enough in my opinion. I bet there's hundreds that they had enough evidence on to convict years ago, and these wankers just let them go in the name of political correctness and not being called a racist. When the last time I checked, if someone's abusing children, arresting them regardless of their race is the correct thing to do. The watchdog has informed the young woman that its report has been shared with the South Yorkshire Force, which agreed with our findings. Yeah, I'm not fucking surprised it agreed with it, otherwise there'd be an even bigger shitstorm coming after it. She was told that the IOPC was unable to identify the chief inspector. Yeah, of course not, there'd probably be a mob baying for his blood, let's be honest. Though I do think it should be considered whether these police officers and the higher-ups deserve to be actually charged with criminal offences for allowing this to happen. It's that abhorrent, I think this should be at least considered. It interviewed 16 police officers known to have had dealings with the girl during her years of exploitation, but the report said that none of them could recall their involvement with you. Yeah, I expect that might be because if they recall involvement with the victim, then it's kind of obvious that they failed to protect her and therefore allowed this to happen. Operation Linden, its inquiry into complaints of alleged wrongdoing by South Yorkshire Police in connection to such crimes, was launched in late 2014. Its scrutiny of the young woman's allegations formed one strand of a larger operation that has featured 91 investigations. It has not been revealed whether misconduct charges have been brought. At the time, her parents' fear that she was being abused by adults was magnified by a growing frustration that the police did not take their concern seriously and viewed the vulnerable girl as a naughty kid, a teenager playing up. Yeah, well, they had to because, of course, they couldn't go and do their job and arrest these dirty scumbags. These police officers have to dance to the woke tune that says you're not allowed to arrest Muslims for raping children. Her father told the Times that this impression was confirmed by his conversation with the senior officer. She had been missing for weeks, and he was talking as though she was an adult doing it of her own free will. He said it had been going on for 30 years, and that in his day, they used to call them, I'm not saying the word again, shaggers. I told him she was a child and this was child abuse. Now that is fucking incredible. If the senior officer had actually said, then that is absolutely disgusting and he should be arrested. Because he's not only says he's known about it for 30 years, but the whole time he's been a police officer, he's known something was a fact and he's allowed it to continue. Surely that goes against every code that the police stand for. Well, they're supposed to stand for. I don't know, I'm not a police officer obviously. The complainant and her family said they were pleased by the watchdog's finding, but did not believe that any officer would be held to account. No, I don't think they will either, which is absolutely disgusting also. Its final report is yet to be published. Steve Noonan, the IOPC's Director of Major Investigations, said that its Rotherham investigation was continuing to make significant progress. We have completed more than 90% of the inquiries. Our priority has been and will always be the welfare of the many survivors of child abuse we have been engaging with. He said as their individual cases conclude, we provide them with a personal update on our findings. South Yorkshire Police said it recognised the failings of its past and accepted the watchdog's findings. The Chief Inspector's reported comments were not something we tolerate in today's force, and it was unfortunate that no individual officer has been identified. Yeah, I would say it's very fucking unfortunate that none of them have been identified. It's an absolute fucking disgrace is what I would call it. It actually really pisses me off. Since 2014, we have developed a far deeper understanding of child sexual exploitation. It added, no bollocks. You knew exactly what it was then, you had exactly the same understanding of it back then as you do now, and you'll have in 10 years. The difference was, you refused to do it because you knew there would be uproar, especially considering you must have let it go on for years and years for senior police officers to be saying it was well known in the town. You absolute fucking disgraces. I'm sorry at the end of that I got a bit irate, but it really pisses me off. Especially when the people who are supposed to protect kids don't fucking do it. Low-life scumbags in my opinion. Bunch of no-good shitweasels. But on that note guys, I will end the video there. As some of you will know, I have started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. So if you want to join me for a chat in real time during one of my streams, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to subscribe to me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description and as a pinned comment below. I hope to see you all there. Now as always, I do want to thank our YouTube, PayPal, Patreon and Subscribestar members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot, and I will see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.
Ramon! Ramon!